This is
What's good, Perk?
What up? What up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
we
So
just,
you're on the side that you like this movie, right?
yeah, I don't have an issue with it. And I don't know people's issue with the ending, honestly.
Me too. I'm right there with you. I've been arguing with people all fucking day, like all fucking week about it. I don't get it.
Yeah, like I'm like, this is the most genuinely confused I ever been about a movie ending. What do people dislike about it? Because I was thinking, oh, they about to do something trash or whatever. Like, I don't know, some bullshit. Like, they're gonna do some multiverse. I don't know, some bullshit. The ending made sense, and it was
It
straight
was
to the
dark. It was a
point.
dark ending. Very dark ending.
It was. Because I was thinking, like, I don't want to exactly spoil. I mean, we can get to spoilers at some point, but for now, let's just keep it spoiler free, and we can get into spoilers. But Vanessa, I recommend just go see it for yourself. If you guys don't like musicals, don't go watch it. If you do not like musicals, do not go watch it. Save yourself your money. But I like 3 musical sequences. I'm no big musical fan, but I can appreciate.
I I will say though, like the movie is proving its point though right now. How people are reacting to it though.
Yes. Perp, this why I think people. I said it earlier, but I think what people expected was Arthur was going to become the Joker that fights Batman. I think that's the ending people were expecting. And if that's the case, that's the stupidest complaint.
And that's exactly why I rewatched the first Joker right before I watched the second one, because I went in like, because there's a lot of things and a lot of and it makes even more sense. You know what I'm saying? And just like because these movies do touch, like, the major theme of it is like mental health, and a lot of people have issues with that, and that's, you're kind of proving the movie's point. Like people don't care about mental health. They like the sensationalized, like the exploitive nature of it, and just all of that, that's where the movie was going for. And I don't understand how. I'm really confused. I just don't feel like people really like let this movie like kind of digest and stuff. They just automatically call it trash and whoop, calling saying fucking Todd Phillips like sabotaged his own film, which why would he do that? Even though when he said like, I wouldn't do this or do a sequel to this unless I had a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And as far as people go, this was obviously the direction you go in. You get to the point of talking about the trial, you have the trial, you go through the whole process. And another thing I did like about this movie, I'm gonna say this in a way without spoiling it. This is probably the first time Harley Quinn did not get duped by Joker.
It's the other way around.
Harley, shit, she played the fuck out that nigga. I'm not gonna explain how she did it, but she did it. And that also goes back into the whole thing of people being used, and Arthur was absolutely being used, is being abused. And like I said, this movie has a bigger thing to talk about. It talks about the shitty ass prison system, for one. You know, Gotham is all about. Gotham is well known for having a shitty prison system, and yes, Arthur did kill 5 people. I understand that. You know,
6 people,
which I understand. But in America, which Joker takes place in, you know, last time I checked, the prison system is about reform. That's what they tell us, right? And they're trying to help people reform while beating the shit out of them, treating them like crap, popping them up full of pills and stuff to keep them tamed or whatever and everything. Like, they just treating people like shit. And you know, this movie touched upon that. And there's a scene that I seen some people say that was like not needed or whatever. I was like, that happens in prison. Guards do that stuff to prisoners. Male and female. You know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a completely dehumanizing, and that's the thing. And like, yo, Arthur's been just dehumanized his whole entire life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he, like you said, he's just being used up here and there, like whether it's from Harley to, you know, in prison, to just how the world views him, because they don't care about Arthur the person. They only care about the persona he puts on as the Joker.
Right. Because in that scene, not going to spoil it, but when he did the thing where he just was honest for once, we saw the people that up and left him. Not just his main girl, but other people too. Can't dive into that for the spoiler free, but all I can say is the movie did for me what it needed to do. Is it better than the first movie? Debatable. Honestly, I think the first movie's ending was hit harder, but this second movie was also just as good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say it's too early because it just came out. You know what I'm saying? And I think people just got to give it time, like they give the first Joker time to kind of breathe and stuff, and just let it kind of like let the dust settle. Because I definitely think that this is going to end up being a cult classic in like 5-10 years from now or something like that. It'll be one of those movies people go look back at and be like, oh, I guess I was a little, this movie's not as bad as I said it was when I first saw it and stuff like that. I think it's just people's immediate reaction. Some people are just kind of going off of what they see social media saying. Like for this to get a D cinema score and Madam Web to get a C plus, like what does that even fucking mean? Yeah. What was even with like the Rotten Tomatoes scores? Like I don't know why we're still doing that gimmick, like that. Like with the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing, it's like it only people use that for narrative sake and stuff like that. But when it's against them, they're like, oh, the critics are wrong. Or but when they get when the score is low, oh, the critics got it right this time. Like so, it's like it's very fucking inconsistent. Should never take that.
And like even the people that use Rotten Tomatoes, I think whether they use it for the good or to use it to prop up their movies or hate on the movie, I think it's stupid anyways, because we come to find out Rotten Tomatoes and the critics, we've known this for years, have been getting paid off to gas up certain movies, downplay certain movies. So how can you truly use any of these review sites when I just tell people, just go watch yourselves? I didn't watch any Joker 2 review. All I seen was thumbnails of people saying Joker 2's bad, Joker 2's trash. I'm gonna watch that shit for myself. Why do I need your opinion to tell me, why do I need your opinion to justify why I should like a movie or not?
And you notice nobody really explains why they don't like it. They never go in depth.
I saw John Campion's out of theater review, and he like gave the most generic, like he said, oh, this didn't hit. Like, what didn't hit? Explain it. Like, talk about it.
Yeah, Vanessa, I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I really liked the first one, and it was just something different. That's the type of cinema I like, though, or like this type of movies that interest me. You take these comic book characters, you could do something completely different. It doesn't feel like a generic one-dimensional type of, it's one of those movies. Both movies have something to say.
Yeah, and people are always asking, hey, comic book movies do something different. This was different. I think this is the first DC movie for
very different.
It's very different DC movie to one be a musical. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the musical is what makes it different. It obviously is what makes it different. I don't know any other DC movie that tried to be a musical and executed it, but yeah, this is different. And look, I'm not saying people have to like it because it's different, but the complaints I've been hearing about the ending, the musical
don't make sense.
For one, the musical stuff, sang very well. Joaquin Phoenix, he can sing. Lady Gaga can also sing. There was 3 musical sequences that surround the court scenes that I thought was really good. I thought those are the most impactful music sequences that surround the court sequences in the movie. But they all flesh out what Arthur is thinking throughout the film.
And even and some people's response like, oh, it felt like nothing happened. I was just like, well, y'all paying attention to the movie? Do we pay attention to movies? Because it's like that's just the frustrating thing about it. Like you can not like a movie. You don't have to see the movie how we see it. It's just at least be honest, or just like a lot of people just do shit just to just get reactions, or just they want those clicks because negativity sells. That's and it's crazy that like shouts to my guy Mr. Rogers and stuff, like he also likes the movie, and you'll see his comment sections like, oh, you were paid to say that you like this, and that's the most disrespectful and disingenuous shit you could ever say to a content creator. You know what I'm saying? Where like just because I like a movie, I'm bought and paid for.
Shit,
You
if
know what I'm saying?
I
Like
was getting
that's not
paid
how
by
it works.
WB, if I was getting paid by WB, shit, I would be in a fucking mansion, a
Right.
two-story fucking house. I'd probably be in a fucking studio doing my shit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah,
And it's just like
everything
people will drag this movie. And when you brought up Deadpool and Wolverine, nobody had nothing, no negatives for that, even though there's clearly issues with that movie. It's still entertaining, but there's clearly issues with that movie. But nobody will ever say that because it's, you know, it's the shit that they like.
Like Joker 2 actually has a story and a plot. Can I say that the same about Deadpool and Wolverine? It has a plot. It's very sloppy, but it's some story there.
There's no character. There's no real outside of Hugh Jackman. There's no real like deep character arcs like that. You know, it's all about the spectacle. It's all about, you know, the entertainment of things, like the violence. This the shit that people love. They don't want to hear about what you're doing going through mentally, or you know, they don't want movies that require you to think. I've heard people say this out their mouth. They don't like movies that they have to overthink, or you know, and some movies don't are necessarily overthink. They just want you to kind of like they kind of challenge you. They're more like challenging, you know, your thought process and certain things, which I appreciate with certain movies. Some people don't like that. That's fine, but I just, you know, two things can exist at the same time. You can enjoy both movies, you know what I'm saying, for different reasons, or you can hate both movies for X amount of reasons.
And I enjoy both Deadpool and Wolverine for different reasons. They're both comic movies. That's a fact. And I enjoy them both for their very different reasons. You know, Deadpool and Wolverine, I didn't go into the Deadpool movie expecting no deep plot or whatever. The plot was trash as I expected, but hey, the spectacle, the characters, the cameos, the action, all fun, liked it. You know?
Yeah, my ratings is like the more I rewatch it, the worse it kind of gets. Because things start to stick out to me more. And I kind of understand where like some people were coming from when that movie first came out, and there was a lot of people, well, select few people that didn't like that movie, and people were calling them out and just saying like, oh, see, like, but it's just like, no, there are issues with that movie, you know, and both movies, both Joker 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine are both $200 million movies, and one just clearly looks better than the other. And just from a quality standpoint.
Yeah, I mean Joker 2, the cinematography in Joker 2, not sure if they changed the person, but I feel like the cinematography and the cameras they was using in this movie was better than the first movie. The shots they was getting, the score, not the score. They brought back the same woman that did the score in the first movie. Solid. She did an even better job in this movie than the first.
Yeah, people don't care about that though. They don't care about cinematography, score, all that shit.
And
you know, go ahead.
One thing I will say, I think some of the jukebox music, because it was a jukebox musical, I thought some of the music was like, man, I like that song, but I did like the three songs surrounding the court sequence, if you know what I'm talking about.
And I feel like that's the most genuine criticism you can give this movie is the placement of the music in the musical angles, like, you know, the other stuff like is just kind of weird and just I don't understand it. As far as like people's reaction to this movie, saying it's the worst thing, or it's worse than you can imagine, or saying like, oh, this disrespects the fans and all this blah 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 shit. Just I don't get it.
Yeah, I seriously think people just went into this movie, and the first movie even told people Arthur Fleck is not going to be who y'all think he's going to be at all. He is a guy that has his persona, which is the Joker, which in a way is technically him. It is technically him, but he has such a troubling past and stuff that it's like, you know, yeah, the guy's mentally ill. Can't really tell if he is sane or in the right mind or not. You don't know. All you know is he was tortured, he was abused, and so much more.
And I hate this whole notion like, oh, he's not the Joker. I was like, there's plenty of Joker stories where he's not the traditional Joker, and that's why I said, what made the Joker into the Joker? He like, when's the last time we seen a Joker fall in a whole bed of like chemicals? Because that's what made the Joker the Joker. It made him go insane in the first place. So we haven't really seen that traditional story of the Joker in a long time, you know. So
yeah, and I knew from jump, like, for one, he didn't fall in no vat of acid. You know, like we always seen in the first one, he didn't fall in no vat of acid. He is no criminal mastermind. He wasn't ever going to learn how to be no criminal mastermind. Arthur is a defenseless. Well, I'm not trying to diss the guy, but he was a tortured soul, got bullied, abused by his parents and shit, and treated like shit as he got older. Like, this was not.
And snap, and even in dark days, like, it's all it takes is one bad day for somebody to just kind of snap and say, you know, I'm done with this shit. Just, you know, take it, like, hurt people. You know.
Yep. Bro, I had a blast watching Deadpool and Wolverine 2. Y'all don't get me wrong. I like that movie. It's one of the few Marvel movies I liked in the past since Phase 3 ended. Blood said, I go see it tomorrow, so fingers crossed. Honestly, guys, I don't like do not listen to what people are saying.
Go on your own thoughts.
Yeah, if people cannot tell you, especially if people cannot tell you why the ending was bad and give a good reason of why it was bad, do not listen to their opinion. Don't even value their opinion on this movie, because
don't even bother.
If the criticism is just the ending, then I cannot take your opinion serious on this movie. I'm not saying you gotta take my opinion serious, but the ending works. If nobody cannot understand why the ending works, I can educate you on it, but that was the most logical conclusion you can get to. He only had two options. He had one option. I'm not going to tell you what the option was, but he only had one option, and the option was
he made his bed with that. You know, he made his bed with that, and it made sense for the story that they were telling. And like I said, like, you know, you're always going to get those traditional Joker stories. You know what I'm saying? You got that with Matt Reeves' Batman's Joker. That's a more sadistic, twisted version of the character. You know what I'm saying?
We haven't seen it fleshed out yet, but I mean, we got it with Heath Ledger. We got it with Jack Nicholson. We got it with
Gotham. They had two Jokers in Gotham. And there were two different kind of Jokers, different portrayals of that character.
All right, we're about to get ready to go. Perp, thanks for coming through. You guys go check out my Perp's channel. It is Perp Minded. Let me put in the link so people can find Perp. Perp discusses horror.
Got a bunch of shit out right now.
Music, so many different things. But y'all go check out Perp Minded's channel.
What'd you do?